Not because we're better than anybody else, but this is just to motivate us, right? In understanding that the Arabic language is an African language, okay? We're trying to learn something. We're trying to go back home. We're trying to learn a language that we had been kept away from us, right? When being brought over here as slaves and whatnot. So we're trying to go back home, okay? Inshallah. Okay, going into the next page, page 2. Again, a motivational factor with regards to learning the Arabic language, okay? There's 10 good deeds for each Arabic letter that you recite. 10 good deeds for every Arabic letter that you recite. In a hadith, the Prophet Muhammad said, An Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. So it's saying from the Sahaba ibn Mas'ud. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من قرأ حرف من كتاب الله. Whoever recites a letter from the Kitab Allah, from the Book of Allah, from the Qur'an, bihi hasanatun, wal hasanatu bi ashari imthaliha, right? The likeness of 10 hasana, right? So every letter that you recite of the Quran is equivalent or the likeness of 10 Barakaahs or 10 hasana. Then the Prophet Muhammad said, La aqulu alif lam mim harfun. No, I'm not saying that alif lam mim is a letter. Walakin, but alif harfun. Alif is a letter. Walamun harfun, and lam is a letter. Wa mimun harfun, and mim is a letter as well. Okay? You know how sometimes you, at the beginning of a recitation, you say alif lam mim, right? That's 3 letters. Right? So for every letter, there's 10 good deeds. So if I say alif lam mim, how many barakahs or how many blessings or how many hasanas do I get? 30. Okay? So even if I just say, again, I'm going to test y'all. Okay, who can read that? Who can read that? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's go through. What letter is this? Ba. Everybody say ba. Okay. What letter is this? Everybody say sin. What letter is this? Huh? Everybody say meme. Meme. Okay. What letter is this? Alif. What letter is this? What letter is this? What letter is this? Ah, okay, alhamdulillah. What letter is this? 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 Alif. What letter is this? 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 Okay, alhamdulillah. Y'all do know y'all alphabet. So how many letters we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I got 19 words or 19 letters. So for me just saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, how many hasana? How many blessings? How many good deeds do I have? If I got 19 letters. Huh? 190, because each letter is worth what? 10, right? And we're going to mathematics too. I teach math too. Bring the 0 down, right? 9, 1, 190. Okay? So 190 good deeds just for saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, right? 190 good deeds, right? We might not even do 190 bad deeds, right? And what's so significant with these good deeds, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you do a bad deed, right, follow it up with what? A good deed. So just be saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I got 190 good deeds. Right? So you do something faulty, only Allah knows what it is that you do faulty. You make a mistake, right? You fib or something, or you took something, whatever it may be, and you want to make up for that. Right? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. With the intention that you're getting blessings for it. Okay? So the Prophet Muhammad said that every letter that you recite from the Book of Allah is 10 good deeds. So just starting off, you ain't even started the recitation yet. You just started off with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That's 190 good deeds. Okay? So every letter that we recite in the Quran, 10 good deeds. So you read a whole page of the Quran, you get thousands and thousands of good deeds. So this is also another motivation of why we should learn how to read the Quran. We should learn the Arabic language. Okay, it's okay to read it in English, but we want to try to read it in Arabic so we can get these good deeds and these blessings, inshallah. Okay, going to the benefits of the Quran. So how many good deeds will we get for each letter? 10. Alhamdulillah. For reciting Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, how many good deeds? 190. Okay, so the benefits of the Quran, continuing. Abu Amama reported that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite the Quran, for on the day of resurrection, it will come as an intercessor for its reciters. Right? The Prophet Muhammad said, recite the Quran. Be of those who continuously recite the Quran. And those who recite the Quran itself will come as an intercessor for you on the day of judgment. Meaning he'll come and plead for you. Right? It means that he'll prevent you. He'll say, Allah, he used to read me. Allah, he used to recite me. Right? Don't throw him into the fire. So some would say, well, how can the Quran speak on the day of judgment? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he'll make anything speak. It's easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kun fayakun, being it is. So the Quran or your recitation, it will turn into a person that speaks. Right? And you used to read the Quran often, it'll come as an intercessor. It'll come as a protection for you and plead for you not to be thrown into the hellfire. Okay? Sahih Hadith. Also, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others. The best of you are those who learn how to read the Quran, those who know the interpretation of the Quran, those who know the stories of the Quran, and then you teach it to someone else. Okay? So when you learn certain knowledges from the Quran, you learn certain stories from the Quran, or even the learning how to recite the Quran, and you teach it to someone else. These are the best in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Teach the people this deen. Teach them how to recite. Teach them the stories. Inshallah. Continue to the next hadith. Abdullah ibn Amr reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it will be said to the companion of the Quran, it will be said to the one that recited the Quran, recite and ascend as you recite it in the world, for your rank is determined by the last verse of your recitation. Okay? So the Prophet Muhammad said that on the day of judgment, Allah will say, recite. Let me hear you recite. And as long as you recite, how many ayahs you recite, the more you'll be elevated in the Jannah. Okay? You recite more ayahs, you recite more surahs, you get elevated. Okay? So we want to try to learn as much as possible. Okay? And Allah will say recite. And then you want to recite, inshallah, we're going to get into in your most beautifulest voice. Okay? So Allah is supposed to say, well, recite. And the more that you recite, you'll be elevated. Because remember, everybody's not going to the same level of paradise. Right? Just like there's different levels of the hellfire. Right? We want to be the foremost of the foremost. What's the name of the highest level of paradise? Firdaus. Okay? Firdaus. Okay? This is the highest level of paradise. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you ask for the Firdaus. Right? Don't play with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you ask him, he said, man, ask with conviction. Don't be like, well, if you want to, can you? He said, ask with conviction. And when you ask for the highest part. He said the Firdaus is the highest part, the middle point of the Jannah. The only thing above the Firdaus is what? Allah. The throne of Allah. Okay? The only thing above the Firdaus is the throne of Allah. Then you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So the highest part of paradise is the Firdaus. So there's different levels of the Jannah. The more that you recite, the more that you perfect your recitation, right? The more that you memorize, the higher elevation in the Jannah that you'll go. Okay, so that's why another motivational factor why we should learn the Quran, why we should learn how to memorize it, right? Because we want to be elevated in rank on the day of judgment, inshallah. Another hadith. Aisha radiallahu anha reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and the example of one who recites the Quran with great difficulty is that of one who receives double reward. So also know that if you have difficulty reciting the Quran, because the Arabic language is not our mother tongue. It's not something that we grew up with, right? So it's something that's hard, man. The Arabic's hard, man. It's like, man, I can't do it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this should be again motivation for us not to give up, keep pushing, that if you recite the Quran with difficulty, you get double reward, right? So that 190 can turn into what? Huh? That 190 can turn into what? Doing math again. So we're doing math, we're doing science, we're doing Arabic. Let's see, what is it? 380? 0, 8, carry the 1, 380. So if you recite the Quran with difficulty, you get double reward. So now if I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? I went from English, learning Arabic, going and stumbling, and learning the alphabet, learning the vowels and whatnot, and trying to struggle. It's difficult. I get stuck. Sometimes I get stuck or whatnot. Man, now instead of that 190, I get 380, right? 380 hasana, 380 blessings. Who don't want that? Who wants that, right? Ain't none of us, you know what I'm saying, too good or got it like that where we don't need these blessings. We need these blessings, right? Alhamdulillah. So these are some of the benefits of reciting the Quran. Again, these are just hadith to motivate us why we should learn how to read the Quran. Okay? Next, reciting in the best of voices. Okay? When we recite the Quran, we're supposed to recite in the best of voices. Okay? There's a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Laysa minna man lam yataganna bil Qur'an." He is not from us, he who does not make the Ghunnah with the recitation of the Quran. And the Ghunnah is if you hear people reciting like Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, that humming, that's called Ghunnah. Okay? Ghunnah. This is like called it nasalization. Right? When you hear them brothers, when they recite the Quran and they holding it, they're making that humming sound, that that's called Ghunnah. That's called nasalization. Okay? That's part of the tajweed or the pure or the beautifying of your voice. And as we see in this hadith, inshallah, those that can read it, it says, "Laysa minna man lam yataganna," right? "Man lam yataganna bil Qur'an." He who does not make Ghunnah, right? He who does not do the nasalization. He who does not beautify their voice, laysa minna. He's not from me. He's not from this ummah. He's not one that follows my sunnah, right? If he doesn't do the Ghunnah, right? So to do the Ghunnah is part of the sunnah. So when you hear brothers and they doing that, that's what they're supposed to be doing. That's the sunnah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it. That's how he taught the Sahabas to do it. So inshallah, that's how we do it. Inshallah. Another hadith. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Beautify the Quran with your voice, because a good voice increases the hasan and beauty of the Quran. The most beautiful reciter among you is he whose recital makes you feel that this person is fearful of Allah." Okay? So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, beautify your voice when you recite the Quran, because it increases in hasan. It increases in beautification. It increases it in reward. Right? And the beauty of the Quran. When you hear somebody recite the Quran real cool, you're like, ooh, that was cool. Man, he sounded good. And you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't understand the words, you can feel it in your heart. You can feel that vibration, like, ooh, that brother did that. Oh man, that was cool. Right? And he also said the most beautiful reciter among you is he whose recital makes you feel that this person is fearful of Allah. Right? You hear somebody recite it, you can feel like they really into it. Sometimes even some brothers be crying, right? But this recital in which you may think that a person is fearful is because they understand what it is that they're reciting. You feel me? They understand what they're reciting. At the same time, when you recite it properly with all the gunas and everything, it's a vibration through your body, right? And you can't do nothing but cry because you understand this is the word of Allah. Ain't nothing more beautiful than the recitation of the Quran. The gunas, the holding it, the nasalization, the elongations, Ar-Rahman, Rahim, all of that. Ain't nothing better than that. That's the best music, is the Quran. Okay? Also, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the person with the best voice was the Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. Okay, y'all know who Dawood alayhi salam is? David. Okay? So the person who had the best voice was Dawood alayhi salam. So what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he told one of the Sahabas, he said, be like Dawood alayhi salam when you recite the Quran. Use the windpipes. He had a musical voice, right? Beautify your voice. Okay, and again, maybe some of us don't have a beautiful voice, but if you recite with difficulty, boom, you get double reward. Okay, inshallah. So this is why we recite with the beautiful voice, right? This is why we try to memorize the Quran with all these benefits. We get raised in rank, inshallah.